On this problem, we have some negative exponents. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change all these into positive exponents first. Now, I mentioned that the way that you do this is to bring this across the division bar and it becomes positive. However, you can't take it across this big division bar now because of the plus signs that you have. So instead, here's how we're going to work this problem. We're going to do 1 over x to the fifth, and then we're going to do 1 over y to the third. Then the big division bar, then we have 1 over x to the fourth and 1 over y squared. So you can see these individual ones, we moved it across its own division bar there separately for top and bottom. So that would be the way that you turn this from the negative exponents into positive ones like this. So now that it's set up this way, we can start looking for the LCD. We're going to multiply everything top and bottom by the LCD. So if we take a look at this, the LCD is going to be the highest power of x and the highest power of y that we see here. So in this case, the LCD is going to equal x to the fifth and y to the third. The highest power of x, the highest power of y. Now let's multiply everything by this. So we're going to put this next to each thing. X to the fifth, y to the third times 1 over x to the fifth. And then we're going to do plus x to the fifth, y to the third times 1 over y cubed. And then the bottom, x to the fifth, y cubed times 1 over x to the fourth. Then x to the fifth, y cubed, 1 over y squared. All right, so again, every single thing, top and bottom, we multiplied by x to the fifth, y to the third. From here, we're going to reduce. So here, the x to the fifths reduce here, and we get y to the third. The y to the cubes here, those cancel out, and we get x to the fifth. On the bottom, so we can reduce 5 minus 4 is just an x, and then we have y cubed left over. This one, x to the fifth we have, and then we have the powers. 3 minus 2 is going to give you a power of 1. So right there would be your final answer, and that would be all you can do as far as factoring. So we could factor out something from the bottom if we wanted to, because we have an x and a y that's common. And so again, it's always good to try and factor if you can. So let's go one more step and we will factor this out. So we can factor out an x from the bottom and also a y. So if I factor that out, I end up with y squared plus x to the fourth. And that would be all I could do there in that case. So this doesn't cancel with the top, but it's always good to check anyway, just to make sure. Nothing more we can do there. So that would be the final answer that you would have here. Okay. Let's do one more like that. Okay, so again, this is another one where we're going to turn the negative powers into the fractions here. So we're going to do 1 over x to the fourth plus 1 over y to the fifth, 1 over x cubed, 1 over y to the fourth. Okay, so now we've changed all the negative powers. Now we have them all written out here as positive exponents. Your LCD is always going to be the highest power of x and the highest power of y that you see here. It's x to the fourth and then y to the fifth. That's your LCD. So everything top and bottom, we're just going to put x to the fourth, y to the fifth next to it. X to the fourth, y to the fifth, 1 over x to the fourth. Then we'll put this next to it. Every single thing we'll put it next to x to the fourth, y to the fifth, we have times 1 over x cubed. And then we have x to the fourth, y to the fifth, 1 over y to the fourth. So now the next thing we're going to do is reduce this. So this one, the x to the fourths are going to cancel out completely. It'll be left with y to the fifth. This one, the y to the fifth cancels out. You just get plus x to the fourth. This one, x to the fourth, 4 minus 3 is just x to the first power, and you have y to the fifth. And then over here, we've got x to the fourth, but then the y's, 5 minus 4 will just give you y to the first power. The last thing we'll do is try and do some factoring on this. So we have y to the fifth plus x to the fourth. And in the bottom, we can take out an x and a y only. We take this first term divided by xy, you'll get y to the fourth. And all this divided by xy, you're going to get x to the third only. And then that would be it for that one. So this would be completely factored and nothing can be reduced there.